Hey, what's up, Fit Fam? So here we are. We've made it to April. It's time to go over workout B for our April Strength Club here. So like we talked about in the first video, we are going to extend those send-offs and kind of build on those. But we have some new different exercises that we'll be working leading up to that as well. So you guys know the drill. We have our templates set up. We're going to start with our ramping and then move to some power work. Get that hurried up, get all those muscles firing, then we'll move on to our send-offs for our strength training, and then we'll have a finisher for you at the end, okay? So going to the ramping here, obviously we're gonna start with our hangs. Again, I say it each video, but great for grip strength, also for shoulder mobility, decompressing that spine, and it's gonna help with those chin-ups as well. So here, take it seriously, embrace this challenge here. Focus on your breathing, long, deep breath in, holding it for a couple seconds, and slowly pushing that air out. Now, of course, you can use your legs when you need to, but make sure that you're trying to find that balance where you're only using your legs as much as you need to get that hanging. You should still feel like your hands are doing some work there to hold you up, but focus on your breathing, adjust as much as you need to get that full 30 seconds. We're gonna match this up with our box step downs here. So again, here in the video, I'm on the tall box. You can obviously go to a shorter box if you feel more secure there. The goal is not necessarily to get all the way down to the floor. It's focusing on that knee going out over the big toe, and then keeping that other leg, pull that toe up, reaching with that heel. This is gonna get those muscles around the knee activated. It's also, you're gonna feel this in your glutes. You might feel this in your calf as well, especially when you're working on that balance. And of course, if you need to, you touch that foot down to the box at any point as well. You can see Coach Matt here working on a shorter box here as well. So make that adjustment. We'll get a set in on each side, 2 sets of the hangs. Then we're gonna move on to our second grouping. So we're gonna work some rollouts this one. Now, this is the first time we've done these in Strength Club. And this exercise is really challenging. It's gonna be a challenge for you, but we're gonna help you modify it. You also will feel this in your abs the next day. So here you can see I'm not using anything to stop me here. We are gonna have some safety measures in place for you, but ribs are tucked, glutes are squeezed, tailbone tucked here, abs are walled up. So what we're really looking for is, you'll see a slight rounding of my upper back. That's fine because those ribs are tucked. I want to keep that lower back from arching when I get to the bottom, because that's when we put too much stress on the lower back. So this is going to work those abs in your lats a little bit. You're going to feel this in your lower back as well. But the way we're going to get it set up for Strength Club is we will use the beams as well as something to help stop you. So, because the issue here is, if you go out too far and you lose that control, I don't want you to slip and cause any sort of issues there either. Obviously, you can always just lower yourself down and just crash to the floor. It's a soft floor. You'll be fine. But we're going to use the beams, and what you'll do is get set up at a distance where the wheel will hit the beam and stop you from going too far. And then if you feel like you can go a little further, you just scoot a little further away from the beam. As we're working it, the coach will be there to help you as well. And I want you're going to keep those shoulders down and away from those ears to keep those lats working, keep those shoulders protected, and start with a smaller range of motion here and then build up. So again, you don't even have to go all the way to the beam. You don't have to go all the way out till your chest is touching the floor. Whatever you can do well is going to make that difference. So this is an exercise that takes some practice to build up that strength. But like I said, we're going to go 30 seconds of it. You'll get a couple sets in, so maybe you're going to get 5 to 10 reps in maybe in 30 seconds, although I would say probably about 5 to 8 is where you're probably working a good tempo. Don't rush to get more in, but the next day, you are going to feel this in your abs. You might feel it for a whole week when you sneeze, when you laugh, when you cough. So err on the side of making it a little bit easier the first time you do this to see how you're feeling the next day. And if you haven't done this one with us before and you're still not believing me about how this is going to feel the next day, talk to any of our members that have done these rollouts before. They'll get you at first, but then you're going to get real strong through that core. And this is one of my favorite exercises. It's pretty challenging for people, so we're going to find a way to scale it and help you keep getting better at it. Now we're going to match this up with our ultimate sandbag bridge marches here. So we're going to start pulling that sandbag apart, right? So we're trying to tear that bag apart, not just passively holding it up, tearing it apart to get those lats engaged, which is going to make those glutes stronger. Then I'm going to push my foot into the floor to drive, keep that hip up, squeezing that glute tight, and I'm pulling one knee up toward my chest and then back down. Now notice how I'm trying to keep a controlled tempo here, not flying through these. It's not about a bunch of reps. Drive that heel into the floor, pull that other knee up, reset, over to the other side, tearing that bag apart the entire time. Then again, if the marches are an issue for any reason, you'll just work your glute bridges here, just driving up with both feet on the floor. So make that adjustment if you need to here. So 2 sets of those, 2 sets of the rollouts, and then we're gonna move on here. So for our power development here, we are gonna start with our sled rope pull. Now again, this is a little bit different than what we've done before, but we've worked the sled rope pull before. I want you to keep it a little bit lighter so you can focus on speed and power on those pulls. It's not necessarily yanking the sled or yanking the rope. You're gonna be thinking about pulling it with control, but we're gonna go a little bit lighter so you really feel like when you're pulling, there's nothing stopping you there. There's gonna be a little bit faster speed on this because it will be lighter. That doesn't mean rush, but it just means I want you thinking consistently, reach and pull, get that sled down to you as quickly as you can. Now, of course, Coach Matt here's being very intentional with those reps. If he was gonna speed it up, you'll see here. So we'll keep it lighter. Again, so for those of you who've been doing the sled rope pull, check the last time you did it. For most people, we're probably gonna go 45, maybe 90 pounds. We don't have to go real heavy with this. I want you to really focus on the muscles that you're working as you're doing it as well. So we're gonna pull that sled all the way down to the other end. And we'll see about pushing it back. Again, depending on the number of people there as well, we might just pull it down one way and have the other person pull it back. We might push that sled back down here, but we have it written up there as a sled push, or a sled rope pull and push. So anticipate being able to push that sled, but it's gonna be nice and light, so it's not gonna make that big of a difference there. The second exercise is our skier. So we're gonna go right from the rope and the sled over to those skier. We want 10 good pulls here, tracking those meters. Think about power, not speed, reaching for that top shelf, pushing that air out as you're pulling here. One good pull at a time, track those meters, and then we're over to our kettlebell swings. So again, we're gonna go 5 or 10 reps here. You can either do 5 dead stop swings like you see Coach Kat doing here, chest up, driving those heels into the floor. Notice how as she hikes that kettlebell, she's pulling it back and she's getting ready to explode up through those heels, trying to keep those hips low, straighten those legs out at the top, tall posture, abs walled up. If you prefer, you can go to those repetitions. Look at all that power that Kat's got going there as well. Drive through those heels, squeeze those glutes, tight at the top, steady breathing here. And think about rhythm, not jerking that kettlebell as you're trying to throw it, okay? Now we got 2 sets of those. We're gonna go through those 2 times. Then we're gonna move on to our send-offs again. Now, just like last month, we're gonna be working 3 reps on these, and we wanna find a weight that we can do about 5 challenging reps of. So for those of you who are doing this in March, that means let's try to take that weight up a little bit more. Hopefully the work you did in March has gotten you a little bit stronger. So we're gonna try to challenge ourselves with a little heavier weight if you can for those 3 reps again. And we're gonna start week 1. We'll be doing 5 rounds at 60-second send off. So every 60 seconds, you'll do 3 reps. We'll rotate around 5 times in week 2, we're gonna take it down to 50 seconds and we'll do 6 rounds. And week 3, it's gonna be 45 seconds for 6 rounds. And then in week 4, we're gonna go down to 45 seconds, or we're already be 45 seconds. We're gonna take it up to 7 rounds, right? So we're gonna build that volume over those 4 weeks. So in that first week, remember, we're just trying to find the right weights for ourselves and see what works and learn the routine. So for example, for those chin-ups, which we're gonna start with here, we're gonna do 3 quality reps. And again, I want you to do a weight that you could do 5 quality reps of. Now, chin-ups are also an exercise where I would say err on the side of going a little bit lighter to make sure you get that full range of motion. Because although, I want you to work hard and it's kind of cool to have that feeling about that was tough. Remember, for these, I want you to feel like they're not hard, and I want you to do them well. So the key here is making sure you can do them well. So if you're someone who's been using a few bands, it might mean, hey, can we take one of those smaller bands off or kind of see what band combination works that's a little more challenging than we did in March, excuse me. If you're someone who's already doing body weight chin-ups, this might mean adding a weight vest or maybe holding a weight between your feet to make it more challenging, to make it a little bit heavier. Obviously, the thing with the weight vest, they're 12 or 25 or 20 or 40 pounds. So adding that 12 pounds to your chin up might be a little too challenging. It might not be though, so we'll find out. Don't be afraid to try. But if it is, you can also use the weight vest and add like a small band to kind of split the difference there. Or you can just focus on the tempo and nice and controlled, slow lowering on the way down on those chin-ups. So there's a few ways to work on it. If you do have any questions about that, please talk to the coaches so we can kind of help you figure out what's going to work best. But remember, you're going to have 60 seconds to try the reps and then make some adjustments before you start your next set once you come back around there. So we have our chin-ups there for 3 reps. Then we're moving to our cyclist squats. Now again here, with those cyclist squats, I know that at times it can feel awkward as you're getting stronger. You're gonna have to find ways to hold that heavier weight. Maybe it's a combination of the weight vest and the dumbbells or a kettlebell. And I know this can feel awkward, but in life, we do things that are awkward. We want to build strength and get comfortable with doing things that are awkward here. So again, sometimes you could also focus on, instead of heavier weight, just getting comfortable holding that awkward weight. And because for a lot of you, I know that you're probably not going as heavy as you absolutely can with those cyclist squats because of the challenge to get those weights up there. That's okay as well. Focus on your form, but don't be afraid to find a way that does challenge you here. Don't be afraid of that awkward feeling. It is actually going to make you stronger. Just the having to pick up a weight that's awkward and put it, hold the right position or put those vests on. There is real value to that as well. So don't overlook that or underestimate the value there as well. But for example, if you were doing 50 pounds on your cycle squats, maybe you're going to try to take it up to 55 or 60, maybe a little bit heavier than that. Who knows, right? We're going to use the reps to find out in that first week if it's the right way. So we have our chin-ups, then our cycle squats. Then we're going to move to our dumbbell seesaw presses. So similar to our overhead press that we worked last month, but now the difference here is that we're going to work one arm at a time and we're going to shift here as well. So you're going to press that first one up. Now, as you pull that one down, you're going to press the other. I want them working at the same time here, and you're going to focus on walling up those abs, glutes are squeezed tight. We don't want to see the torso moving as we're rotating. So the seesaw press just offers a little bit more of a challenge for that core stability. So we can still go heavy with that weight, and it gives us a chance to challenge that core just a little bit more, get those muscles working for us as well. So focus on shift as you're pressing. There's that shift going on through the shoulders, but the body's not shifting or compensating at all as you're working those. And again, if you were doing 25 or 30 pounds on your overhead presses before, maybe we're going to try to take it up to 30 to 35, something like that. Again, in that first week, again, if you're not quite sure about it, remember, we're going to use those rounds to find out. Especially in that those first couple sets, it's okay if they feel light, but by that 4th and 5th set, if you start to notice that maybe this is too heavy, next week we're gonna make it a little bit lighter. If you start to feel like, wow, this is still way too light, make a note to take that weight up the next week. So that's the value. That's what we want to try to get out of that first week, as well as the opportunity to figure things out. And then our last exercise is our side lunge, our sandbag side lunge clean. So for this one, we're gonna step out to the side, feet pointed straight ahead, so those feet are still parallel. And remember, after you step out, you're no longer going to keep pushing forward. Once you've taken that step out to the side, now you're sitting your hips back toward the wall, not pushing further out to the side here. So we step out, sit those hips back, chest up, and then we're going to drive up through those legs, and we're going to go 3 to each side here. Now again, if you haven't done this exercise with us before, start with about a 25-pound bag, or excuse me, a 20-pound bag. That's usually going to work well for most people. As you're feeling, if you're feeling stronger, you feel more comfortable with it, you can take that weight up as well. And if you've done this exercise with us, don't be afraid to challenge yourself. But this is, again, an exercise where I want you to focus more on the quality of the reps, what you're doing for those reps, and not just about it being challenging here. Use that time to get better at this exercise. So we step out to the side, and then we're going to drive up using that leg. So as you see, I step out here with my left leg. Now I'm going to press up through that left leg as hard as I can and yank that bag up into that clean position, trying to get them working at the same time. So this isn't a side lunge that you step back and then clean. You're going to clean it out of that side lunge here, okay? So we're going to go 3 to each side, and then we're going to go first week 5 rounds, and then we'll take the volume up from there. And again, in that first week, your goal should be, 1, to get comfortable and familiar with the exercises, and then find the weights that work best for you going forward. And again, in that first week, don't worry if you feel like the weights were a little too light or you didn't get as much out of that strength portion of the workout. We still have a finisher coming up that's going to help you get that burn at the end as well. So speaking of that finisher, we're going to keep it nice and simple here. We're going to start with our push-ups. Again, Push-ups are a great exercise for everybody to practice. You can work from the floor like Coach Matt here. I love Coach Matt's push-ups. Notice how those elbows are pointed at the wall behind him, squeezing those shoulder blades on the way down, pushing the ground away from you. Of course, if working from those toes is a little too challenging here, we'll move over to the bar and do those elevated push-ups. Now, again here, this is where I encourage you. If you are struggling at all with your push-ups from the floor, go to the bar. You will get stronger faster by making this adjustment as opposed to struggling through reps where we're not getting that full range of motion. That full range of motion means that those muscles get worked well and your brain is learning how to do the exercise as well. So don't let the ego get in the way here. I want 5 to 10 quality reps here. I'm taking your time, glute squeeze, moving plank position here. 5 to 10 quality reps there. Then we're moving over to the Echo Bike for 5 calories. Coach Matt's back. When you get to see Matt in 2 videos in a row, it's always a good day here. So you're gonna push and pull as hard as you can. Now again, you can take your time on that 5 calories as well, depending on how tired you are. Maybe you're gonna go a little bit slower, but don't be afraid to challenge yourself and see how fast you can get it done. Maybe for at least just one of those sets, right? But great conditioning exercise here, 5 calories, and then we're gonna crawl across the floor. Now I know this finisher is gonna be tough for a lot of people, especially finishing with the crawl after that Echo Bike. But there is a real value to this as well. Pushing the ground away from you. See Coach T here is working her side crawl, pushing those knees apart as those hands come together. Hands come apart as those knees come together. You're gonna go down and back on this crawl here. So if you're going your side crawl, down in one direction, face the same direction, but moving the other, sideways in the other direction when you come back. Or Coach Cat here is working the bear crawl. Again, taking your time. You don't have to rush on these. I know you're gonna be tired here, so stop if you need to and take those deep breaths. But as you're working it, make sure your breathing's matched up with this. Don't try to rush the crawl. It's not about doing it fast. Get that breathing under control, match it up with your movements, and you're gonna feel a lot more control here as well. Now, again, if the crawls are an issue for any reason, you can also do some prisoner lunges if you need to, or you can skip this exercise completely, of course, but don't be afraid to give it a try here. And there is something to that challenge of that controlled slow crawl after you've gotten those push-ups and Echo Bike work in as well. So don't be afraid of this one. We're gonna get 2 sets in of the finisher, possibly a third if you really wanna push, but that's really up to you. Okay, so that is our workout B for April. I'm really excited about this one as well. Hope you guys are as well. If you have any questions, please comment in the thread here or reach out to coaches. Please let us know how we can make this workout work for you as well. Okay, love you, bye.